All right. The market saw one number this quarter and, well, it reacted. But, as you know, the headline is almost never the real story. The real story, the number that truly defines this quarter and proves our thesis, is 14.2 gigawatt hours. That's it. That's the only number that really matters today.
So let's just break this down. Over on the left, that's the number that spooked everybody. Auto deliveries, down 16%. Now look, that decline wasn't a total shock given the tough year-over-year comps, but it's the headline that drove all the noise. But now, look to the right. The contrast is just stark. While everyone was totally fixated on cars, the energy division was quietly surging by a massive 49%. You see, this isn't just a small beat. This is a fundamental divergence, and it's the real story that the market just completely whiffed on.
And that divergence? Well, that brings us right to the heart of our analysis today, what we're calling the energy lifeline. What we just witnessed this quarter was a textbook example of one part of the business stepping up to not just support the company, but to completely rewrite the entire narrative. It literally saved the quarter.
So here it is, the single most important takeaway I want you to walk away with. Energy isn't a side hustle anymore. It's the growth engine. This is the big shift we've been waiting for. And this quarter? Well, this quarter just delivered the proof on a silver platter.
Okay, so how in the world did they pull this off? Let's dig into the execution. A record result like this, it doesn't just happen by accident. No, this was the direct result of a specific strategy we've been tracking for a while, that red shift, that all-out push on production and logistics to meet this incredible demand. So, the big question leading up to this report was pretty simple, right? Did that massive push, the round-the-clock factory schedules, the expedited shipping, that whole logistics sprint, did it actually pay off? Or are they just going to hit the same wall that so many of their competitors have?
And here is your answer. 14.2 gigawatt hours. A brand new all-time record for a single quarter. This right here, this is the money shot. This one number is all the proof you need that their operational push wasn't just a success, it was a massive success.
Now let's put that number into perspective, because it's even better than it looks. The Wall Street consensus was sitting at 13.4 gigawatts. Even the most optimistic folks, the whisper number, was only hoping for 14.0. So to come in at 14.2, that just blows past even the most bullish expectations out there.
So the conclusion here is crystal clear. The redshift strategy worked. But even more important, it proved that the company's vertical integration, the fact that they own the entire supply chain, from the battery cells to the software, is a serious competitive advantage. It lets them sprint when everybody else is stuck. That's what won them the quarter.
A record quarter is fantastic, but our job is to look ahead, to see the next risk coming down the pike. And that brings us to the Shanghai Bridge, and how the company is already getting ahead of the next major challenge, those upcoming changes to U.S. tax incentives that could create a real demand cliff. And here's the key piece of the puzzle that completely de-risks the future. The Shanghai Megafactory. It's officially online and already in mass production. The timing here is just impeccable. It's the perfect strategic move to offset what's coming next. And the impact is immediate. First off, it's perfectly timed to absorb any potential dip in U.S. demand because of those tax changes. Second, it can immediately start chipping away at that massive global backlog. In fact, we're already seeing a huge 912 megawatt-hour order for Chile being filled by this new factory. From a strategic point of view, this is a huge win. It diversifies their revenue and makes them way less vulnerable to U.S. politics. All right, so this brings us to the big picture, to the investment thesis itself. What we're seeing right now is the birth of a brand new growth engine. This isn't just about one good quarter, you guys. This is about a fundamental re-rating of the entire company's value.
And the number that really defines this new chapter is right here, plus 49%. That's the year-over-year growth for the energy division. While the auto business was shrinking, this part of the company delivered actual hypergrowth. This is the kind of metric that forces everyone to completely reevaluate what this company is worth.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The story on Wall Street is officially changing. Just look at this commentary from Cantor Fitzgerald and Morgan Stanley. They're now calling energy storage the sole valuation prop, and they're explicitly calling it the primary growth engine for 2026. See, the story has fundamentally changed. Okay, so we've celebrated the incredible top-line number, but now it's time to be the voice of reason, to stay disciplined and look ahead. We need to talk about the trade-off that was made to hit that number, and what you need to be watching for next. Look, that record number didn't just appear out of thin air. It came at a cost.
The company paid for that 14.2 gigawatt-hour deployment with a whole lot of overtime hours and expensive expedited freight. That redshift, it had a very real price tag attached to it.
So, when you put all of this together, what's the one thing you need to remember? What's the key takeaway for you as an investor right now?
Here's the bottom line. Celebrate this massive revenue beat today. Absolutely. The energy division has proven without a doubt that it is the new growth engine. But, and this is critical, stay disciplined. Circle January 28th on your calendar, because on that earnings call, the number we care about isn't revenue anymore. It's gross margins. That's the number that will tell us the true cost of this victory, and it will set the entire tone for the rest of the year.